Welcome, guys. This is the Four Horsemen podcast. Guys, we're at episode 10. Can you believe this?
I can't believe that.
Wow.
Should be episode 11.
Let me also add, this is the first time I think we're listening to the theme song live with the podcast as opposed to adding it in post-production. This is great. Anyways, welcome to the Four Horsemen of Fantasy. I'm your host, Gil Benhamo, alongside me, Karlos Ortiz, Nick Romeo, and Jack Hopkins. Wow, what an interesting week in football. Week 11, and where can I get started? It's been weird in so many ways. There was blowouts from here and there. Some teams just absolutely pooping the floor. But enough about those. Let's get to the three of you here, boys. How has your weekend been?
My weekend was great. I went 3 of 3 in my fantasy leagues. Great pick'ems. I cannot complain.
Yeah, I lost all my fantasy matchups that I care about, but I did go 2 for 3 in pick'ems. So I made me no longer being a student of the NCAA or any other governing body. I made a nice couple of shekels that I cannot give to any of you until you graduate. But I'm very happy about that.
It's like a quick little stocks and bonds thing that you get as like a present. Anyways,
I had a very impressive win over here against Carlos in our
Was it impressive, or did I just lose it?
I think
I
you might have
sucked.
just lost. I did score 135.
I need to mention that in that same league, I put up 155 points. My tight end, TJ Hawkinson, nothing. He got a target that whole game, and everyone else went stupid. Like, I got Deebo Samuel going bonkers on the Rams.
He's so good.
His yak is insane.
Yeah. No, that's where his bread and butter is.
You know, he's got more yards through the first 8 games of this season than Jerry Rice had. His best yards through 8 games.
I don't know if you missed my complaint yesterday. I'm like, Jimmy Garoppolo, his numbers look good. He just gets consistently bailed out by his receivers.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not just Samuel.
Yesterday he threw into triple coverage, and Deebo managed to get out of it and score a touchdown.
That was insane.
It was incredible.
I was going nuts. However,
Planters.
It's been an interesting week. So obviously last week we discussed where Odell could go. Right after that happened, they just announced he went to the Rams.
Ugh.
Such a boring outcome. I can't stress it enough.
I think he should have gone to Green Bay. That's just me, though.
I wanted to see him in Baltimore. We already discussed this last week.
Yeah, we did discuss this last year. I think that would have been the best team for him, but
yeah,
that's besides
he had better situations. The Rams just seems like such a cop-out. However, not just Odell going to L.A., Cam Newton went home. That man went home.
He's back, baby.
Oh,
he's back.
I'm back. That was great. I got to watch that in a bar, and I was going absolutely
I wish I had it pulled up.
Damn, yeah, no, that was great. So, big name movers. These are players that have fantasy implications in mind. Cam Newton is getting first-team reps heading into this week, so he could be in line to start. The Rams are heading into their bye. They have a lot to assess heading into it now with Robert Woods tearing his ACL, and Odell is probably going to step in as the wide receiver too. I don't even know if Van Jefferson actually got a decent amount of attention as well.
Yeah.
But that leaves the question, where do you guys have this outlook for Cam Newton? Let's start with him first.
I think he's going to help the receivers-wise, even especially Robbie Anderson. Even just, how many drives was he in there with him, and he threw 1 touchdown to him? How many touchdowns did Darnold throw to him all season? Just the 1?
Yeah.
So Cam Newton's in there for 2 or 3 drives, throws a touchdown to Anderson. I think Anderson's going to benefit from this the most.
I agree.
I think Robbie Anderson definitely is maybe a little bit more relevant now because he has those kind of short, over the middle kind of plays. Cam doesn't like to look too much downfield anymore. He doesn't quite have that arm anymore. I will say, I'm very worried as a DJ Moore kind of owner. I don't own DJ Moore anywhere, but if you do, at the start of the season, I was valuing DJ Moore in those first 3 games when Sam Darnold looked absolutely incredible, which is really weird to say right now because we were talking about it on the podcast at that time. But in those first 3 games, Deebo was a top 5 receiver. Now he's not even in the top, in the wide receiver 2 conversation. He's maybe a wide receiver 3 at best, and it's really kind of worrying for me.
I just want to add also his picture for Robbie Anderson, because I'm looking at it right now, is so funny. I swear to God, this man's trying to be Kodak Black.
Didn't Cam have a similar hairstyle just not too long ago? I felt like it was.
Yeah, no, that's what it looked like when he was in, like, it was in his New England phase. It kind of looked like The Weeknd.
Yeah, it looked like Cynthia from the Rugrats.
Like, yeah.
Oh God, don't remind me about that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where this will go, because if Cam's in line to start, I could see him just taking that spot for the rest of the year.
I think Darnold is done in Carolina. I think the experiment is already over.
It has to be.
I'm gonna take that one step further. I just think he's done. I don't know which other team is gonna give him a chance.
I don't think he's done. I think he'll at least back
Listen,
him up.
Josh Rosen's on his third team, and he's never been productive at all. So someone's going to give Darnold a chance. You don't toss out a number 3 overall pick.
I can see the Broncos taking like another 10th or 11th.
You know what? Call me crazy.
In the last couple of years.
Call me crazy.
Next year.
Doesn't maybe Cleveland reevaluate Baker Mayfield in the quarterback situation there?
No, and I'll tell you why. Because they wasted. I wouldn't say wasted.
Flyer.
They took him with the number 1 overall pick. The Browns, I was just discussing this over the weekend. The Browns are lucky to be in a position where if they have a quarterback that could just play bang average, which is what Baker's been doing, then they'll be fine. Because now they have the luxury of complaining that their quarterback's bang average now.
I don't even know if he's average. There comes to a certain point. Look at all the quarterbacks in his class or even people that are younger than him that are already severely outperforming him. And Baker, to me, has a much better cast than some of those other quarterbacks. Justin Herbert's balling out. Josh Allen's balling out. You know, obviously we're not going to talk about Mahomes. You know, dare I bring up Watson? Watson did it with nobody last year.
Right.
Baker just does not have it to elevate, you know, and get around the excuses that people have laid out for him. I don't think he's a good quarterback.
I think he's just regular.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just going to say, instead of like being a yes man here, I want to try and play devil's advocate.
Sure.
He has had bad injuries this year. He's playing with a torn labrum in his shoulder right now. He does not look 100%. Granted, this was his year to really prove people wrong, and he hasn't done that. But I do think that he is struggling with that injury, and I think that I have a lot of respect for him playing through what he is playing through. There's a lot of players that probably would just have surgery done. They had a great win against the Bengals last week. This is the inconsistency. I mean, they're a 500 team. They're 5-5. They got a date with the Lions next week, so they're going to win that game. Maybe they'll tie again. I don't know.
Oh my God!
But I just feel I kind of feel bad for them.
I kind of feel bad for him too. I respect the mentality.
Whenever I watch Cleveland and I see that they're doing well, I see that the running game really takes a step forward in those games. I think the running game gets them out of big jams, and if it wasn't for Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, even Demarcus Johnson now coming up.
Who?
Demarcus Johnson.
Can we cut that?
Oh my God, we have
can
to.
cut
No,
that,
we're
right?
not cutting this. We're keeping that.
No. I mean, I need to cut that as a drop,
have
and
to,
also
yeah.
my space out. I need it
What is it?
on up too.
D'Ernest.
Ernest Johnson.
That's an N?
When you don't know a name, Nick, you have this thing where you mumble. You'll say Demarcus Johnson.
Because I don't think he was firm on that one.
I was like, that's got to be his name, right?
D'Ernest. Anyway, D'Ernest Johnson has been great.
He has been great. Whatever he has to fill in for them, I know I'm the best.
Yeah, Demarcus Johnson's good too.
Demarcus Johnson.
Don't forget about the metric system.
The metric system. Felton, the Ernest Johnson. You get the idea.
But either way, my point is just the running game does take Baker Mayfield and promotes his play.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, it'd be tough for Baker Mayfield.
But this goes back to like 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago we were discussing Baker Mayfield. This man's on a contract year.
Yeah.
You think this would be the year he should play very well.
Yeah.
And
Jack is right. Getting hurt, it sucks.
it sucks, but I don't feel like it's just him. I feel like the Browns might be just running him to the ground.
Maybe.
You might want to.
With Jarvis Landry as your wide receiver one, or Donovan Peoples-Jones,
you got to discuss how much of a say Kevin Stefanski has an input in this. We're gonna shift quickly back into the AFC North, back into the topic as well. Le'Veon Bell just got waived today by the Ravens.
Brutal.
Boo-hoo. Bye.
Was he playing well? I wasn't surely because they were giving a lot of love to Devontae Freeman.
He had 82
and
yards and
Murray.
2 touchdowns in 5 games.
He had a couple of good breakout runs. There was one, namely, that I could think of against the Chargers. And I could think of the one they had, I think, the following week. Those are the two that only come to mind.
Yeah, in 5 games, he had 2 good runs.
It begs the question now, for me, moving forward, I don't think Bell's going to get picked up anywhere.
Oh,
I don't think so. At best, he'll probably get picked up by some team that's got an injured running back or terrible issues.
He's going to Miami.
Miami, rip Gaskin users.
Yeah.
This leaves me with a question specifically onto the Ravens. How much do you think will be on the shoulders of Freeman, and how much will be on Latavius Murray?
I'll start off here. I think obviously Devontae Freeman has looked really good with the touches he's been given. I like that they've done this because I hate like 3-4-headed backfields because it's really difficult for fantasy to predict. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about fantasy football. I think Freeman is going to be the main guy because he's been getting all the first team reps for the last 5 or 6 weeks. But Latavius Murray is meant to be back from an ankle injury this week, and he should be back going forward. He was the guy who had been here from the start of the season. He was their guy going into the season. He's the guy who had a bit of the preseason with them and stuff. He got traded, I think, just before the season started. But I think that it's going to be more a 60-40 Freeman to Murray at the start, and I think it could veer its head to become a 50-50 eventually when Murray is back fully healthy.
I actually am going to disagree on both those guys. I think it's going to be Jackson that's going to be taking over that role.
Which Jackson?
Lamar Jackson. The running back, Lamar Jackson.
That's my damn running back.
That's my damn running back.
I mean, Lamar's going to get his, absolutely.
No, yeah, I think there's going to be more touches, more design runs for him more than anything.
But I don't think that actually has to do with anything here, because I really don't see the correlation. Lamar Jackson's going to get his rushing output regardless.
Yeah.
I think it might be increased.
I don't think Bell leaving is all going to be like, oh my God, now Lamar's getting 30 rushes a game.
The moment we recognized Dobbins and Edwards being out for the season, Lamar was going to go crazy. Regardless. And yeah, there's not as many designed runs this time, but the amount of yards he gets just running out of the pocket is unreal.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with all of you. I think Latavius Murray is the one to beat it back to own. Freeman was out of football for a reason. He has looked good, but that's simply just because he hasn't had the wear and tear of other running backs, especially the washed-up variety that have come to Baltimore shores lately.
But wouldn't you want to continue feeding the hot hand?
Hot until what? Until he starts to break down again? You know, I'd rather maybe, from a coaching standpoint, Latavius Murray is going to be a little refreshed from his little rehab. He's going to come in fresh. I don't care about feeding the hot hand. I need healthy bodies at this point. Le'Veon Bell clearly was not going to be in the future, and he wasn't even in the short term. I can see Murray being the back to own because then Freeman can take a step back and keep him fresh, so to speak, for the long haul. Because listen, the Baltimore Ravens, they don't care about your fantasy team.
Right.
They care about making wins, getting to the playoffs.
Gritty wins.
So I do agree that it will be a 60-40 split, but I just see it the other way because of Jack's point that Latavius Murray was the guy from the start. He's just a little bit ahead in terms of the playbook, scheming, run blocking, things of that nature. I just like Murray a little bit overall, but I wouldn't touch the backfield like if I had to win games fantasy-wise.
I think we also have to acknowledge the presence of Tyson Williams.
Yeah.
That is a pretty big...
Have the Ravens?
That's
they did to begin
honestly,
with.
yeah.
He actually got a lot of touches at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And I think they just went towards the route of Freeman, just because, again, like I was just saying before, they're feeding the hot hand, and I think they just wanted to go more towards the side of experience. Because remember before when they had Mark Ingram, they went with the side of experience, and look where it's gotten them. They had like one of the best records in the league that year when Ingram was playing like an absolute like running back 2, running back 1 in maybe some leagues. I would throw Tyson Williams into the mix just for the sense that he could like seep in there. He can come through that back door and like steal touches from somebody else.
Yeah, I think Tyson could take a couple of touches now, maybe take a step. I think he's looked the best out of those Ravens back. If you look at the start of the season, I don't know why they veered away from him. There was no reason to. He was looking really good. Maybe he pissed someone off. I don't know.
This begs another question though. Like, if you have multiple running backs, which one's the one that's going into the end zone?
Probably Latavius on the
I
goal
would say
line.
Murray. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
He's the bigger kind of back.
Yeah.
Freeman, it's not like Freeman's a small guy either. It's just, again,
They have a good O-line, so I wouldn't be like, okay, I would be totally fine with any of them.
It's just you're hard pressed. I think there's a lot of volatility now. Even though Bell is out of the mix, I just think it's going to be hard to predict. Very, very much like Belichick and running backs in years prior. You just never knew who was going to be that one that's going to get 2-3 touchdowns.
And lastly, as I mentioned before, Odell Beckham is an LA Ram. Such a joke, right? I hate it. Do it one more time. Thank you, Carlos. Odell Beckham Jr. is an LA Ram. As an LA Chargers fan, I really hate it. But that's besides the point. They looked stinky last night. They looked terrible.
You know they're 0-2 since they had the tweet that we're all in. You ever see that?
Are you sure they're all in?
Yeah, I know.
No, they're all in.
They're all in. It's just the fact that I
all in
don't.
where?
You know what's all in? Them. You know what's not all in? All the draft picks. They're all out.
Yeah.
They got pocket kings. Everyone else got pocket aces.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, here's the thing. Moving forward, I don't think this changes. Maybe I'm rushing to conclusions here. I don't know if Odell's going to be giving you Robert Woods numbers. No.
I don't see that.
I think there's something wrong with him. Not mentally, physically. I just think he's not 100%.
His shoulders are banged up.
Van
His shoulders are
Jefferson's
banged
going to
up.
get Robert Woods numbers. That's the way it's going to be.
I think Van Jefferson's going to kind of step into the Robert Woods role, and Odell Beckham will step into the Van Jefferson role.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp will step into the Cooper Kupp role.
As long as that rookie doesn't step into anybody's role.
Yeah.
How many passes did he drop? The kid from Notre Dame, number 18. I don't remember his last name.
yeah.
But I saw him drop 4 passes, and I'm like, why do you keep throwing to this kid?
That's really going to annoy me.
Stafford was having a yips kind of game.
Yeah, I think like with Odell, he's obviously going to take time to adjust to this offense. So let's not jump straight on his we hate him. He signed on Thursday, I'm pretty sure, and he if this was a Sunday game, I don't think he would have played. Just having that extra day, maybe that he was active. I'd love to see the snap count. I'd love to see how many snaps he played because I don't think it was many.
No, it wasn't at all.
We talked before the game, and I said I bet when Odell comes out onto the pitch, he's going to get the ball because that's going to be a play designed for him.
I love how you said pitch, knowing it's the field.
On the field, he had 2 catches for 18 yards, which is obviously not great for fantasy. People probably started him because they saw he was starting. But honestly, I think with Odell, he's going to take time to gel. What I love about it is that he has Sean McVay as a head coach, who I think is an outstanding coach. And if anyone can get something good out of Odell, I think it'll be Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan just has McVay in his back pocket. It's hilarious.
I agree.
Yeah, so here's Odell after the game talking about the debut and how he's going to go into the bye week.
It's going to be a tough road, but this is where these moments don't divide you. They bring you stronger and closer together. And I'm happy to be here. And just over the bye week, be able to get in the playbook and really try and learn every single thing possible. It's 2 days of, it's quick, but I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm just happy to be here.
He sounds excited to be there, doesn't he?
He does.
Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember like 10
so
years
much
ago when the
excitement.
Jets traded for Tim Tebow and he couldn't stop saying how excited he was to be on the Jets? Was that just me? I remember ESPN did like a whole count of how many times he said he was excited. Anyways, we're gonna use that to segue into the next topic here. There are a bunch of title contenders this year. The AFC is kind of wide open right now. The NFC is a little bit top heavy. But we're gonna put this into a fantasy perspective. They've been inconsistent.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just look at we're going to address the elephant in the room here. These title contenders, although they're winning games, they're not consistent week in, week out. And it's a little concerning. Namely, I'll start at Tennessee. A.J. Brown had a weird game last week.
That was a bad game.
What, 3.3 fantasy?
It was like
points,
3.3, right?
Yeah.
This is he had those where he had a good stretch of games where everyone thought, oh, he's back. He's going to be doing this week by week by week. I'm not saying I'm not writing him off at all. But title contenders are consistent. Can we chalk this up to just being the nature of the beast? Or is there something really going on this year with all of them?
I don't think there's anything wrong with AJ Brown specifically with the Titans. The problem with the Titans is now defenses can focus on Brown because Julio, the glorified decoy that I called earlier, he's no longer there to be a glorified decoy. And obviously the biggest injury for them was Derrick Henry. Their running game is not nearly the same. Now you're forcing Tannehill to throw a lot, which is, may or may not be a good thing. But when you don't have anybody outside of Brown to throw to, Nick Westbrook is their option at wide receiver. There's not much to work with. So I can see Brown really having a tough 2-3 weeks coming up. Double coverage, forced to make a play, maybe drops a ball because he wants to run before he catches it, kind of things like that. I think the Tennessee Titans are in a good spot simply because the entire conference is just so down. The Chiefs won. I'm still down on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about the Titans yet, but I just don't like their odds in the long run. But I don't like a lot of people in the AFC. It's much less to do with that.
It's so wide open.
I think
so wide open.
I think I totally agree with you. AJ Brown had to deal with Marshall and Lattimore the entire game, and Lattimore's an awesome corner. I think what happens with these big teams is that they don't care how our fantasy football teams do.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And that's totally fair, because at the end of the day, their job is to win football games.
But I want them to.
They don't, they don't care how they get there.
Devontae Adams, my fantasy team, please.
Exactly. It's like they're gonna throw the ball to Nikhil Westbrook, whatever. They're gonna throw the ball to guys who aren't on our fantasy football teams, because if that's going to win them the game, that's what they're going to do. The best coaches, which by the way, Vrabel has been awesome since he's been in Tennessee. The best coaches get the job done, and they don't mind how that happens. One thing I find really frustrating, I don't know about you guys, I'm going to talk about Kansas City quickly here. Kansas City, why do they persist on not throwing the ball to Clyde Edwards-Helaire? I know he's injured right now. I'm saying when he is there, who had such good pass catching chops, yet Darrell Williams just went 9 catches, 101 yards.
Did you
and a
see
touchdown.
that catchy hold down too? That was
a
nuts.
grown ass man right there. Like, why is Darrell Williams doing that at the backfield, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to come back? Sorry, I just spat on Gil. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to come back, and they're going to not give him any more than 4 targets. That just baffles me. Andy Reid, like, what are you?
We said this before.
But it works.
I think it was like week 2 where we were discussing or week 3 where we were discussing I think it was a therapy appointment. Clyde Edwards-Helaire's build is a problem. I really think it is. You can't give him, the receiving output should be there, but you can't give him the ball often, because anything after the catch or after the run isn't going to be as present.
Yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs just missed Kareem Hunt at this point. I mean,
they had to cut him, but yeah.
They had to cut him at that point, but if he didn't have to be cut, he would still be their main.
Oh, when is he a free agent? Because I might consider, if I'm Kansas City, come on back home,
grab him
Daddy.
back,
Come on. Well, listen, we all forgive you. Second chances. This is America.
Forgive and forget, you know.
The only team. So we have a couple teams I want to go over, but the one team I want to mention I'm omitting is the Packers. The Packers have actually played really well since week 1.
Yeah.
Obviously,
You just chalk that off to week 1 against the
Week
Saints
1?
was awful.
That was awful.
And
but since then, they've been at least hitting the floor. They've been the only consistent title contender. They might be the best team in football right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, if you have Rodgers, or keep him. If you don't have Rodgers, get a good package in order to try to get him. I have a strong belief that Aaron Rodgers is going to return to MVP form, not because of what he can do on the field, even though he's a fantastic quarterback. Because of that COVID stuff, he wants to get people to talk about the football more than the COVID so badly. Yeah. He's going to generate storylines. I think he's going to start carving up defenses.
Yes.
That was the first time Russ had been ever shut out as well.
Yeah, no, I think that would chalk it up to just him being rusty.
That's just coming back.
Yeah, that's just a rusty game.
That was Rusty Wilson right there.
That was Rusty Wilson. You could.
That was the worst I think he's ever looked.
Yeah. You could also contribute to the fact that Metcalf got ejected for being an idiot and tried to continue playing.
That was at the end of the game.
That was ridiculous. Yeah.
Stupid.
I can't talk about inconsistent title contenders without bringing up the Buffalo Bills. I just don't know what the deal is.
How did they lose to the Jags and then look like a Super Bowl contender against the Jets? I mean,
I'll tell you why.
I guess I know why they look like one against the Jets,
Beat
but they
the
lose.
Jets?
No, I'll tell you why they lost to the
Josh Allen
Jags.
lost to Josh Allen.
I will tell you why. It's because Josh Allen, the quarterback, was on the Manning cast.
Yes.
And every time you're on the Manning cast, you lose the following game.
I'm so glad you
Is Phil Mickelson going to lose the next golf tournament now?
Yep.
He's
no,
done.
but
Philip Rivers is not taking any else.
I don't want to put too much light on this, but think about it. Tom Brady was on one week, they lost to the Saints. Gronk was on one week, they lost to the Rams. I can't think of more names off the top of my head.
Brady.
Staff was on 1 week, and
Brady.
I said Brady. Yeah. Brady was. Yeah. So they lose. I don't know what the deal is.
Can I talk about the Bills quickly here? I just want to say another team where the backfield is an absolute mess. The Devin Singletary got 8 touches this week, scored a touchdown. Matt Breida came out of nowhere, scored 6 touches this week, got a touchdown.
Who's number 19 on the Bills, by the way? Something McKenzie?
Isaiah McKenzie.
Isaiah McKenzie. So, he got some run.
Zach Moss had 7 carries, also had a touchdown. That's 3 guys. Isaiah McKenzie, 2 carries, also had a touchdown. It is an absolute minefield, but it works for the Bills. This is the thing. They're not going to go away from something that works. I know it's annoying for us. We want a guy who is getting the 8, 7, and 6 as one package, and he's getting 20 carries a game, and he's putting up 3 touchdowns. That's a huge line, but we're not going to get that. So
here's the thing. We never expected the Bills' backfield to be anything incredible.
Yeah.
However, the passing game hasn't been that insane either. If you drafted Stephon Diggs in the second round like I did, you'd have expected 20-point output every week. But he's been cruising at 15 since until last week where he absolutely exploded on the Jets.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 21 going into this week,
Right.
and now I think he's the 12 now after that huge game.
He had an absolute fantastic game. Did you expect at the current state where we are this season that Deebo Samuel will be having just a better statistical season than Stephon Diggs? I
Absolutely
didn't.
not.
He's the wide receiver 3 of the year. Like he is
It's
absolute animal
honestly
after the catch.
insane.
Animal.
Yeah, Cup is one.
And
That tells you
yeah.
how volatile this fantasy game is.
And where's
One by
Jamar
like
Oh yeah,
Chase?
no, there's nothing fair about this shit.
Jamar Chase is at what, 2 or 4?
He's
right?
4, yeah.
And then, it's just, how often have we seen week by week where it's not Diggs, it's Dawson Knox, it's Cole Beasley, it's Emmanuel Sanders,
Gabriel Davis.
Gabriel Davis.
It's always someone else.
It's always someone else.
Why not Diggs?
For real.
Well, it was Diggs this week, guys.
It was Diggs this
Chill.
week.
It should be Diggs every week because I have him.
Amen.
Right, let's
Amen.
get on the phone, shall we? Get on the blower. Sean, come on.
A couple of the teams I want to show up here. I'm going to put these two together for the same reason. The Ravens and the Chargers. Now, I'm not saying the Ravens are
Homer.
inconsistent. And I'm going to bash the Chargers for this week was infuriating because, man, that was an annoying game to watch.
Yeah.
How do you not trust Austin Eckler? How? They just didn't. They gave run to everybody. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jared Cook, the freaking backup, Joshua Kelly, not Eckler. He got saved by a touchdown. Do you realize how awful that sounds? Like his bread and butter is pass catching. Herbert's decision making has been awful. Awful.
And the
Herbert's
first couple
not
of
good.
weeks, he's looked like he was
'Cause-
going to be like the MVP.
No, because Brandon Staley's a great coach, I think.
Yeah.
He's actually turned around this team, and not just on the offensive end. The defense has played pretty well, like sufficient enough for them to actually compete in games. My problem lies with Herbert, because if he can't make the proper decision, if he's throwing into double coverages, if he's forcing the ball somewhere that it shouldn't be, he's going to end up with 13-point games every week.
How's Mike Williams been doing lately? I feel like he's tailed off, hasn't he?
He's been cruising. He's been on the decline.
You gotta
because
see
now-
Jack's face
because
over
we
here.
we've
Jack's,
been
like,
saying
in disgust
Jack's got
right
the
now.
data. But the thing is, I've been watching the games.
Oh, do I got some stats for you?
Keenan Allen's, like we said before, like you asked me before, do you think Keenan Allen will get integrated into this offense? And I said yes. I was 100% right. Keenan Allen is on the rise right now. He's
is.
been hitting his floor.
Try to grab him for cheap right now. He's honestly doing really good.
I don't even think you can get him for cheap anymore.
How's Mike
I
Williams doing?
would try to buy low on Mike Williams.
Since week 4, he's the wide receiver 42.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I thought
That's how
so.
Mike Williams is. Mike Williams
Jared
also.
Cook's been getting good attention
Michael
too.
Williams doesn't look healthy. He
No.
doesn't look the same.
Every year
But he
gets
is
hurt.
technically healthy. Like
Yeah.
he is, he doesn't come up.
You know
with
what it is?
injury
I think
report.
mentally he just realized I should be hurt right about now, but I'm not.
Right.
Yeah, Mike Williams is not a plug and play. Here's a name that is ahead of him from week 4 to week 10. Jamal Agnew.
And most people benched him this week too. He
Randall
had a good
Cobb.
game.
Randall Cobb, Jamison Crowder, Marquez Callaway, Van Jefferson. It's like these are guys that aren't on people's rosters, but yet people are plugging and playing Mike Williams every single week, hoping that he's going to do what he did between week 1 and 3, and he's just not going to do it again. I don't think he is. Keenan Allen is finally breaking out. I don't like that we're talking about the Chargers right now. There's a bunch of other teams that have 5 wins as well, Gil. You're being a homer here.
Yeah, well, I had to. I wasn't just talking about them though. I was also mentioning the Ravens, and it's not. I would call this more of an overreaction because they just played. The way they played on Thursday was like they played a 98 snap game 5 days before.
You can't lose to the Dolphins.
But you can't lose to the freaking Dolphins. Are you kidding me?
It makes
No,
sense.
there was something exponentially wrong with that offense that day. I would chalk it up as a bad day. I wouldn't say this is something that will seep over week after week.
Yeah.
And that said, I think they'll be fine, but I would be concerned for Lamar Jackson owners just because there's going to be games like this. This happened literally week 1 as well when they played the Raiders. And I think this didn't necessarily happen against the Bengals, even though they got blown out, and Lamar still had a fantastic game, like fantasy-wise. But there are games where his decision-making just doesn't look good because he'll either force the ball, he doesn't run when the lane is open, and which is when he does that is when the offense really can get the chains moving. Those are the things that if Lamar Jackson doesn't take advantage of those, they're screwed. And honestly, like moving forward, that's going to be a strange thing. But we're going to cut into break right now. That was a nice couple segments. We're going to come back with a little game we like to call Like, Love, and Hate It. Welcome back to the Four Horsemen of Fantasy. Gil Benhamu here alongside me, Jack Hopkins, Karlos Ortiz, and Nicholas Romeo.
Yo.
So, listen. What the hell was that? Hey, yo, how you doing?
Nick just really wanted to have something in there.
No, Nick just had to go to the pocket real quick.
Yo, it's your boy Romeo.
Hey, yo. Like Razor Ramon.
You have to get the toothpick and just fling it at somebody?
I'm gonna start doing that after every break. I'm gonna just say something.
Yo.
random.
You're gonna say something if you don't say bing bong one time, I'm gonna get so mad.
It'll come whenever you least expect to watch.
So I have a game proposed to us here called Like It, Love It, and Hate It. So I'm gonna give us 3 options. You're gonna tell me which one I like, which one I love, and which one I absolutely hate. I got a few right here. I got one I think Nick might know better than most, but that's gonna be at the end.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get us started. I'm gonna talk.
Definitely anime. You guys couldn't see Gil's face.
Wow.
I just confirmed it. Come on.
Anyways, so
The Prophet Jack.
I'm gonna start off with tight ends here. Kyle Pitts, T.J. Hawkinson, Noah Fant. I like this.
TJ Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts, Noah Fant.
That's right.
Like, love, hate. Okay, I'm gonna say that I love Hawkinson. I know he had put up a goose this week, but that's not a typical Hawkinson performance. I like Kyle Pitts, and I hate Noah Fant. I don't hate Noah Fant, but honestly, Albert O is getting more run in the Denver offense right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jeudy's back, healthy. I don't think those guys are gonna get as much, loving from Teddy Bridgewater. So I'm gonna go Hawkinson, Pitts, Fant.
I love Pitts. Like Hawkinson. Hate Fant.
Carlos?
I'm in with Nick. Here's my problem with Fant. I've never been a believer of Teddy Bridgewater. I just can't stand him as a quarterback. I mean, I'm sure he's a nice guy. It's not for me. I like Hawkinson. That last game does concern me, but there's no talent in Detroit. They're going to keep throwing it, so Hawkinson will have volume. As for his Pitts, Matt Ryan doesn't have an arm anymore. That arm is gone. So, and you don't have Calvin Ridley. It's not like you have receivers stretching the field. Kyle Pitts is going to be that guy. He's just like, hey, I'm 4 yards out.
Can you
throw me a
believe the
50-50 ball? I'm good.
The Falcons fan is the only one going with love Hawkinson over.
That's because you're
Pitts.
trying to hide your
And you
home
have
risk.
an
You're
Atlanta
overcompensating
Falcons
for your
jacket.
I literally have my jacket. Yeah.
And we're forgetting here that Patterson's out for several weeks now.
Several weeks, wow.
That's what they said on Bleach Report.
I don't know about that. I think he's going to be out because it's a Thursday night game. I think he'll be back in week 12.
You think so?
I'm gonna check this. But yeah,
Start Kyle Pitts.
Start Kyle Pitts.
Just do it anyway.
Are we ready? Can I?
Yeah.
Don't start Russell Gage.
I hate Noah Fant.
Yes.
I have Noah Fant. Every time I've started him, awful.
He's just not consistent.
But when I bench him, he
goes
gives
off.
me good numbers.
There are fantasy managers around the world that want you to drop them. Be the hero that they need.
Cordarrelle Patterson was limited in Tuesday's practice, so I think he'll be out this week. But I don't think he'll be. I think he'll be back because he's sprained his ankle. It's just going to swell. They're going to monitor it. I think
Yeah.
so.
Anyways,
Maybe wrong report by me. I apologize.
I like T.J. Hawkinson.
Ooh.
Is this a game?
Yeah.
Oh, we have to guess what you guess?
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
I didn't know
Hey,
that.
we're winning.
Well done.
This
Well
is-
done. I like T.J. Hawkinson.
We got
Here's the
points.
thing. I
Actually,
like
just gonna
him.
do
The
it on
problem
mic,
is,
actually. I'm not like
I like.
disagree on everything.
Here's the thing. I like T.J. Hawkinson. What bothers me is that Jared Goff is his quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got to throw to somebody.
He's got to throw to somebody, but will it get there? Who knows?
Like, what receivers does Detroit have?
I don't think anybody's running to pick up Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
No,
He sounds like a Batman
Quintus
villain.
Cephas? Yeah, right? Like,
Everybody loves Raymond out there. Like, come on. Like,
I love Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
I love Kyle Pitts. This man's giving you volume. If Ridley's not there, Kyle Pitts is the move. I think he's going to be the guy for at least the remainder of the season. And now that they don't have much of an offense, like you mentioned, Cordarrelle Patterson's going to be out for a minute. Listen, I just don't see any other beneficiaries to this offense aside from Kyle Pitts and Younghoe Koo.
Yeah.
That's it.
He better get me more than 3 points this week.
Oh yeah, that was a joke. I was so upset. We're gonna move on from that though. I'm gonna move into streamable quarterbacks because I'll keep it in Atlanta. Matt Ryan,
No.
Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill.
right, you also gotta tell us who they're facing this week.
Oh, okay. So I think the Falcons play the Patriots Thursday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right.
You are correct.
The Titans. Dang, who do the Titans play?
The Titans play.
Are they?
Oh, they're playing the Texans.
They play. Oh yeah, they play Houston.
Falcons
and
Patriots Thursday
Vegas. I think Vegas plays
night. The Bengals.
the Bengals.
I'm going Tannehill love, Carr like, and Matt Ryan hate.
It doesn't matter where you're going.
No.
That's
Answer the damn question, Jack.
I'm actually gonna just play complete contrary here. I'm gonna try to get the opposite of what Gil gets. Hate Tannehill.
You're a menace.
Love
You're
Ryan.
a menace.
Love Ryan. Like Carr.
Well, you're losing this week.
That's a homer pick.
So what's the stronger word for hate? Because I need that word to describe.
Despise, loathe.
I loathe with a passion Matt Ryan. I will never have Matt Ryan on my team again. I don't care what other options I have. And I stream a quarterback in my main money league every week. Matt Ryan, I don't care if he's facing the Jets for the next 6 weeks. He's not going to be on my roster. So I hope that answers that one part of the question.
So, yes.
I'm going to go slightly different to Nick, kind of being the Jack contrarian to his contrarian. I'm going to like Tannehill. I'm going to cuddle up and love me some Carr.
Send in the car.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah, I'm going to love Carr. Here's why. I don't know if Cincinnati's the team that everybody thought they were. You know, listen, Tannehill's got the easier matchup, so he'll probably put up the better numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what?
They had one bad game against the Jets.
You know what? Let me just
So did
think,
Tannehill.
Let me think the
Yeah.
coaching staff and Carr just gets their head out of their butts and they're going to throw it to Waller. Give me Carr.
Well, I hate Ryan. No, I hate Matt Ryan. I loathe Matt Ryan. I can't
Jack's
stand
over there with the fist like, I did it. Let's go.
can't stand Matt Ryan. Let me tell you why. This dude is garbage, all right?
Garbage.
I don't know what Bleacher Report was thinking naming him a top 10 quarterback before the season started, because he's not. He never was heading into the season.
Nope.
I don't know. I would have rather had Jameis Winston on one leg over Matt Ryan. I would have rather had me on one leg over Matt Ryan.
I'm
And
picking
you're
up
on
Mac
one
Jones.
leg now.
And I'm literally on one leg. That said,
Yeah.
I like Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, all right. No.
Here's the thing. Like
bleep that out,
we
bleep that
brushed we like Ryan Tannehill.
We got the censored zombie.
Yeah, we got the horse now. We got the horse now.
Yeah, you know. Anyways, so I like Ryan Tannehill.
Okay.
The deal is, like you said,
All right. I'm 1 for 1.
the thing with Tannehill is, I don't know how well he'll produce if it's just A.J. Brown.
Yeah. You're right.
Good point. Man,
Yeah.
I wish somebody would have made that.
Exactly, because that's what you said. That's why I'm going to you on that. I think that was why. I like him. He could do good numbers.
Yeah.
He could get you a rushing touchdown, which people don't tend to realize. His rushing touchdown output is kind of funny. That said,
He was still taking some rushing touchdowns when Henry was there,
this is true. This is true.
and now he's not.
And I love Derek Carr. I like how the music looped. I love Derek Carr. The Raiders hit a rough patch. Let's not shortcut that.
Yeah.
I think they'll pick it back up.
They better.
I think they will.
Somebody's getting fired if they don't.
I think somebody already got fired.
For other reasons.
Listen, they're in a bunch of crap right now, but I think they'll pick it back up. The AFC West is still a horse race right now.
Kansas City went from last to first.
Man, okay, no, bleep me out. I hate that. I hate that. Oh, so I love Derek Carr. I think he's gonna have a great game.
Yeah.
We're gonna move into mid-table running backs now. Actually, I have a couple with running backs.
Okay.
Melvin Gordon, Michael Carter, Damian Harris.
Gordon's on a bye.
Is he on the bye? This is just
Yeah.
generally then. We'll just go by generals here.
Okay.
Because Javonte Williams is on a bye.
Yes. Yes, he is.
And I was gonna say Williams, but I kind of wanted to go with Gordon on this one.
Yeah. Gordon, Carter, and who else again? I'm sorry.
Damian Harris.
Damian Harris.
He's hurt, but let's just say any game,
No.
any given day, they're
yeah.
healthy.
I'll kick off.
concussion
I'm
for
going to. I'm going to hate Harris. Patriot. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree.
I am going to go on a crazy little limb here. I'm going to like Gordon. Although I don't like him in real life, but I kind of like what he's doing now, even though I'm a Javonte Williams owner. So that means I love Michael Carter. And I just think it's because, it's the Jets, but it's volume. I'll take Michael Carter.
You want to go, Jack?
I'm going to go then, yeah. The trade for Javonte Williams and trade for Melvin Gordon, because they have the easiest schedule out of their bye out of every single team. So I'm going to love Melvin Gordon because I actually own them both in. Why do you look so confused right now?
I don't know.
Nick looks blown away.
I wish y'all could see all this. I think one podcast we're gonna get a camera out for these things.
Well, eventually we'll be simulcast when we're picked up.
Yeah.
Right.
So I absolutely love Gordon. I think him and Javonte Williams. This is Gordon's rest of season schedule. The Chargers, the Chiefs, and then Detroit, Cincinnati, Vegas, and the Chargers again. The Chargers don't have a good run defense, by the way. So that they have a funnel like run defense. That's what you have to do against the Chargers. So they have an awesome schedule. So I'm gonna say I like Damien Harris, and I'm gonna like Michael Carter and hate Damien Harris. And the reason for that is because I think Ramondre Stevenson is having a breakout season. And I think that they can't not give him some of the ball. They have to give Ramondre Stevenson some of the ball.
I agree.
Especially after this game he just had. So,
All right,
Nick.
all right. I'm gonna say you love Melvin Gordon.
no, what do you love?
No. Let him answer. Let the man answer.
No, I also love Melvin Gordon. But I'm also going from the standpoint of Gil here. I'm also gonna go like Carter, hate Harris.
Y'all are dead wrong. I hate Melvin Gordon.
Wow.
I hate Melvin
Why
Gordon.
don't you tell people at home what your record is?
What? I'm like pretty much on 500 most of my leagues, so I'm doing all right.
Interesante. That means interesting in Spanish.
Really?
Thank you for that Spanish lesson, Carl.
No, I hate Melvin Gordon, and I'll tell you why. Javonte Williams, because I'm never guaranteed with that Broncos offense.
Melvin Gordon's still scoring double-digit
That's the
points.
thing. I've been waiting for 10 weeks for Javonte Williams to just grab this
And he
job.
hasn't yet.
I'm waiting. That's still gonna. I'm confident it might happen.
I
It's
don't
week
think so.
11.
It's at the point now that Gordon's still doing it, and he's still putting up flex numbers for you.
I don't know.
Gordon's
I'm like,
outscored him every game by one, I'm pretty sure.
by like one. That's like still. That's not by much, and I don't.
No. He's outscored Javonte Williams every game bar one game. Melvin Gordon has outscored Javonte Williams in
I got
every
him.
game
I
bar
got him
one
in
game.
2 leagues. I like him as my
I don't
flex
know,
play.
man.
I love
just-
Javonte.
there's
I think
nothing-
he could break out,
you know?
but they're going to need an injury. If they're not changing it at this point,
If it
Yeah.
looks like a duck, walks like a duck, that's a duck. That's a timeshare if I've ever saw one. Quack,
I
quack.
just don't
50-50
like.
man.
I don't like the idea of multiple running backs succeeding because more often than not, when one running back does really well in a game, I'm not promised how well the other one's gonna do.
Well, we're also looking at Denver. Denver has no receiving core. No Noah Fant, no Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. They don't do anything. It's all Javonte Williams.
And they started throwing the
all
ball
Melvin
really
Gordon.
well this season too.
Yeah.
You know, in that fraudulent
receiving
3-0 run.
It's Bridge H2O. He can never really throw too well.
So it's been more just a running game in Denver than anything.
Interesting.
I love the receiving core in Denver.
I love them too.
They're talented. They just don't put up
I just had
numbers.
another
I kind of
quarterback.
want Drew Lock to come back.
Yeah, Drew
start
Lock's got upside. I like Michael Carter. Because like you said, the Jets suck, but it's volume.
All right. I know. I understand liking Carter, but you love
You
Harris.
love Harris? Yeah.
Yeah, I do love
That took me a
Harris.
second to process too.
Yeah, I'm
Like
like,
Damian Harris.
all right, there's someone
Because
left here.
remember the approach here. I said any given day, healthy. Damian Harris gets the touchdowns when he's there.
No, he's great. It's just that everyone else is now popping off.
Yeah.
Well, no, listen. When Damian Harris is healthy, he's giving you touchdown output. That's my thing.
Brendan Bolden's being fantasy relevant at this point. I don't want any room in
J.J.
that
Taylor's coming
backfield.
out of nowhere. Like, come on, Stevenson.
I don't know. I kind of like Damian. I'm kind of riding behind Damian Harris because he's giving me a touchdown.
Ramondre forever.
He's given me a touchdown every game he's been active almost. So I feel like that deserves the praise that he's getting.
All right.
Anyways, stay on the running backs.
This went from Gil's game to all of us telling him how he's wrong in his game.
It's been one question, damn it. All right. Staying on the running backs, James Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Myles Gaskin.
Oh, bro,
I
you
think-
know where the hell Gaskin is.
I'm a zip.
You know where the hell Gaskin
Gaskin,
is.
hey.
Nick, go first. I like where he's talking.
I hate Gaskin. I will say it.
I'm so
any
glad I
single time
edited
of the
last
day.
week.
I am so happy to say that to you. All right, that's besides the point. Who else was there? Gibson and who else?
Gibson and James Robinson.
Wow, this one's tough. I haven't heard anything from James Robinson this year. I really haven't.
He's been valid.
He's been
valid. He's
slowly putting in numbers, but he hasn't
He's quietly putting in the numbers
Yeah.
that he's supposed to be putting after Urban Meyer did not have a clue how to use him for like the first few weeks.
Yeah, and the injury to Travis Etienne really helped out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say love Robinson, like Gibson.
I love Robinson, like Gibson, hate Gaskin. That's just, I don't think I need
We're
to explain
talking
that.
rest of schedule, right?
I guess so, yeah.
I'm gonna love Gibson. I'm gonna like Robinson. I'm going to hate Gaskin. I hate Gaskin for all the reasons that Nick hates Gaskin and more so.
Can I also clarify? Gibson's a way better running back.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just a matter of how often he's been
The
given
only
the ball.
way that Gibson gets a good game is if Washington win, and I don't foresee them winning any more than maybe 1 or 2 more games this season. That's why.
They'll beat Philly twice, and they'll probably beat Giants in Week 18.
I don't think they'll beat Philly.
I think he just finally started to turn the corner. Last week showed me a lot from Gibson. J.D. McKissick is obviously still there, and he's the pass catching back that you want to have, in PPR leagues. But Gibson went high in a lot of rounds. He finished so strong last year. I'm just inclined to think that he might finish strong again. I like Robinson, but
I don't like that nagging
I like
shit
Gibson just a
injury.
little more.
Okay. I hate Gaskin.
Thank you.
I hate Gaskin.
Thank you.
As you
Y'all, you
should.
know what? To be fairly honest, y'all got this dead right. I hate Gaskin. I like Gibson. I love Robinson.
So I didn't get it right.
Let's go.
It's simple as that. Gaskin's just so inconsistent. I really don't know what to do with that Miami offense.
It's really more like I hate Miami's play callers.
Yeah,
Just in
no, it's
general,
very
Miami.
strange. Like, Tua somehow had a good game last week. Like, I don't get it.
He might be streamable this week.
And Mike
He could
Gesicki had
be.
0 points last week too.
Yeah, you thought Gesicki would have been great, but what the hell was that?
Zero.
Yeah.
Goose egg.
Gibson, I like. I think this flashes of potential he could do for the rest of the year. They might not win, but who knows what they could do.
That's fantasy. You don't care if they win.
Love J-Rob. Love J-Rob. In my league, I have Gibson, I have J-Rob, because Derrick Henry's hurt. I have him, J-Rob, and Damian Harris. And I had to bench Harris, obviously, because he was hurt. But J-Rob and Gibson gave me some numbers.
You remember Gibson last year had 3 touchdowns against Dallas on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh my God, yeah.
So towards the end, he might turn up.
Who are the Cowboys playing this Thanksgiving?
God, I hope it's not Detroit.
I don't know.
No, the Lions play on Thanksgiving
They
regardless.
always play. I know. It's them and Dallas. I just don't want it to be a damn snoozer.
The Cowboys are playing the Raiders.
I like that game.
I would, any receiving or running option you could play against the Cowboys on
Just
Thanksgiving,
do it.
you
Bills,
start
Saints.
them
You better do
without
it.
hesitation.
Although
Bills
Dallas
Saints in
is,
the night will be good.
Dallas's
fun.
defense is getting sneaky good this year.
Oh yeah, sneaky good. And it's not even just Trevon Diggs, like they actually have a good
Like
decent.
Dan Quinn is legit. Too bad he couldn't do that in the Super Bowl.
I find it kind of hilarious that Trayvon Diggs is allowing like the 3rd or 4th most yards to receivers.
Because he's all about boomer bust, feast
Yeah.
or famine.
Yeah, no,
he's
it's-
like, I'm either gonna pick this ball or you're gonna score on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just good positioning. Wide receivers though. Hollywood Brown, Brandon Cooks, DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Talk about volatile wide receiver threes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't
Wait,
saying this a couple weeks ago.
It's Hollywood. Who? Hollywood.
Hollywood, DJ Moore of Carolina, Brandon Cooks of Houston.
I mean, it's like I'm gonna go what I like and whatever here, but like as I was saying earlier with DJ Moore, it's like he's not going to be good with Cam under center. So like I have to hate him because I think I'd rather play Cooks purely based off the volume he's getting in Houston. I know he doesn't play for a good offense, but it doesn't really matter because whichever quarterback it's going to be, they're going to pass the ball to him double digits times, and that's the opportunity he's getting. And I guess that leaves me loving Marquise Brown, who's the wide receiver 6 in the season so far, which makes the most sense. I know Bateman's back now, but I think Hollywood has huge upside. So yeah, that's where I'm going.
I've noticed that you like the Ravens a lot. So I'm gonna go also Hollywood Brown as a love. I'm gonna go a little sneaky here. I'm gonna go like DJ Moore just because Cam Newton's now back and now he's gonna throw the ball. DJ Moore could benefit from it now that Sam Darnold's gone, and I'm gonna go still hate Brandon Cooks because the quarterback situation in Houston's kind of rough with Tyrod Taylor, and I can't even tell you who the other guy is at this point.
Davis Mills?
Davis Mills. So
Don't worry,
Los?
half of Houston can't tell you. This is tough. It actually might be one of your hardest categories because I want to love DJ Moore, But for all the reasons Jack said and my own belief, I'm just gonna trash. I hate DJ Moore right now, and it has nothing to do with him. I just don't think Cam can do it.
Yeah.
I think Cam is going to be more mobile. I think he's going to be better than Sam Darnold.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not that hard.
Darnold didn't leave a high bar. But this is Robbie Anderson's time to really get back on track. So I hate DJ Moore. This is where I really want to. I want to hate all of them, but I'm gonna like Hollywood Brown. Here's why.
Interesting.
I get that he's having a tremendous season, and this is what people thought that he was supposed to be last year. But Bateman was really good in college. I am a very big believer that Rashad Bateman's skills translate very quickly. He hasn't gotten it yet. He's only topped off at 60 yards, but Lamar's throwing more now. I like Bateman, so therefore I'm going to downgrade Brown to a like, and I'm going to love Cooks simply because of volume. I don't think he's that great anymore, but Houston's always going to be down, so that just leaves targets for Cooks.
I'll get the common denominator here for the most part. I love Hollywood Brown.
Thank you.
You raised a great point, Carlos. I want to love Cooks. I only like him because we don't know, he's guaranteed targets, but how often is that going to work out? Because like you said, like Nick said, the quarterback situation's a little murky. If Tyrod Taylor plays, I would have loved him.
He will.
So obviously that leaves the room for me liking Cooks, because he could do tremendous things. I really think he could play very well. I hate DJ Moore. I hate DJ Moore specifically for everything you guys have said.
I feel so bad.
I know.
He was having a tremendous
If you asked
year.
me this in week 3, man, God, it'd be a
He
no-brainer.
single-handedly won me weeks that I had no business winning
Actually,
earlier
all
in the
three
season.
of these players had great starts to the season. Cooks included. Cooks had 20 points a couple of times. So. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this. Okay, this is the last one, and you guys don't need to answer this one. This one's gonna be specifically for Nick. Cowboy Bebop is coming out this week, the live Netflix adaptation. So as a joke, I did a like, love, hate for my anime. Nick, Jujutsu Kaisen, Vinland Saga, or One Piece?
Oh, God.
They have no correlation whatsoever.
Oh, God.
Jack and I are just gonna
man,
our
I'll see y'all outside.
Let me tell you, One Piece. Oh,
You hate One Piece.
episode 2 of One Piece.
And what was the other two? Kaizen and...
Jujutsu Kaisen and Vinland Saga.
Oh yeah, that fight.
the
That was crazy.
in Vinland Saga? The fight scene.
Wow, I actually don't know this.
Pirates.
I don't know the difference. You know what I'm going to say?
Men
I'm
and
going to
women.
say love Jujutsu Kaisen like Vinland Saga.
Bang on, thank you.
Let's go.
All right, yeah. That was it. Good job, Nick.
Thank you.
Well, we're heading into week 11. Unbelievable. The season has gone by so freaking fast. Thank you for listening to the Four Horsemen of Fantasy. Follow us on Instagram at 4 F-O-U-R, Horsemen of Fantasy.
Oh, good, you can spell.
No, I could not spell. You're bugging. Anyways, have a great weekend, guys. Best of luck with your fantasy teams.
Peace.
Goodbye.